We're here with Lincoln East head coaches, Jeff Rutledge, Keenan McCurdy. Coaches, just tell us about how the season's gone as being co-head coaches. You guys wrestled together at Kearney, wrestled together at Lincoln East. Just talk about that whole dynamic.
I think from my perspective, it's actually been, for me, it's been even easier than we anticipated. I think we knew that there would be some difficulty going into it from both each running our own programs individually, and then try to figure out, okay, how are we going to make that mesh together? Who's going to do what? Who's going to take what responsibility? But really, it's fallen into place pretty darn naturally. Like you just said, we've known each other since we were in kindergarten. We've been best friends since we were in kindergarten. So, we have a pretty good understanding of what makes the other person tick, what the other person's strengths are, how to let them lead on those things. And, there's been some moments where there's probably been, a little tiny bit of butting some heads, but for the most part, it's been pretty darn natural, pretty smooth. And I think I've really enjoyed it. I think hopefully the kids have really enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, I would just add that, knowing each other for a really long time, we've been able to know how one operates, and I think for us to have that familiarity is there's no one else that I can do this with as a co-head coach. I think that knowing each other so well has really been a huge asset, that we're better doing this together than individually. That's the whole purpose behind it, is that we think that we're a better team, better as a team to do this than individually. So it's had its fair share of struggles, but we've really enjoyed working together, growing together, and having the opportunity to lead a program that we know and love.
So talk a little bit about Isaac Odell, how he went from being, as a freshman, having a losing record, and now in the state finals, probably the favorite at 170 pounds.
Yeah, really he's the ideal kid to coach. He's that kid that every coach out there wants to have on their team and wants to get the privilege of coaching. For us, it's been more of a privilege for us to get to coach him than I think that it has been for him to be able to wrestle underneath us, because he does every little thing that we ask of him. He never questions our authority. He's dialed in, he's tuned in, and I think the overarching picture that really has allowed him to improve in the fashion that he has is just his dedication to try to do what's right no matter what. Whether that be off the wrestling mat in the classroom, or with his family, or in his church youth group, or with his teammates, or on the wrestling mat while he's drilling, or he just has a very strong sense of the direction that is the right direction, and he really wants to follow that path. And so for us, it's just been trying to point out the right things for him to do, and then turn him loose, and it's been a joy really coaching him. So.
His love for the sport is second to none. When he's in practice, he's dialed into every single thing that we're talking about. He wants to learn and progress, just like our freshmen that are in the room, and to have that leadership and that love. And I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to score points. He doesn't focus on winning. He just talks about how he wants to have a lot of fun in wrestling. I think that when we can focus on having fun, that transfers over to wrestling the best that we can, and that's what he does every time.
Now, when you two were in high school at Lincoln East, you guys won a handful of team state titles. What is it going to take for your program to get back to that moving forward?
Sure, I think we've just been talking about is just getting total buy-in from our guys. I think we've got some experiences both at the high school level and the college level. That we've had some success individually, and we've also seen what it takes to have some team success. And so, really, the focus this year has just been building a culture that is what we know is going to help us to be successful. And that is for kids to care about each other, for kids to love each other, and that is going to encourage us to work our very best in the off season and during the season to be the best team that we possibly can be. So I think we're a lot farther along in our culture than I would have expected at this point. But kids are buying in or getting on board, and now obviously we talk about coach ethics and all. It's just like we can't wait till we get to the off season. We can't wait to start doing the Nebraska USA wrestling events and get to do some open mats and get opportunities in the off season in the weight room and stuff. And I think that we've got the momentum rolling, and that's what it's going to take. Is that every single one on our team believes in what we want to accomplish, and is going to do everything they can to carry out the culture and to build this team into something great.
I'd second all of that. I think I heard I listened to an interview by Rob Cole, the head wrestling coach at Cornell University, one of the nation's most successful collegiate programs. He said something really interesting. He was asked, what are you doing differently now that you're really successful that you weren't doing when your team was at the bottom of the pack in Division I every single year? And he said, really the answer, honestly, is there's not much. There's not much different. And so, winning and success is to some degree a privilege. And the reality is, he talked about getting he was fortunate to get some really good recruits, but then he just talked about consistency over time. He's stuck to his philosophy that he believes is the right philosophy over a long period of time, and it ended up paying off for him. So I think that's going to be a big key for us, is just believing in what we're doing and realizing that it's going to take time, and that we're willing to put forth that consistent effort over whatever period of time that it takes to be a successful type of program we'd like to be. Yep.
Got anything else for us?
Nebraska USA Wrestling rules.
Yeah.